My first question is, how have holiday sales been so far?
Holiday sales for us have been very robust. You know, the Nintendo Switch has been one of the hottest selling items all year. Our focus has been making sure that we have enough hardware in stores to satisfy all that demand. And we're fortunate. We've got 4 games that are really motivating consumers to pick up our hardware in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and our latest Super Mario Odyssey. So right now, sales are very strong, but there's still 4 big weekends to go to make sure that we have a great holiday season.
As you mentioned, the Switch is one of the hottest hardware tickets in town. How is Switch supply? Are you still meeting demand, or are you behind?
Right now, we're meeting demand, and product is flowing into retail stores and flowing into our .com retailers on a daily basis. But the one thing that we keep telling consumers is when you see a Nintendo Switch, you should buy it, because we can't guarantee that we'll be able to keep up with this demand as we continue through the holiday season. But we're keeping up with it right now, and that's our focus.
The Switch has been out for 9 months now. I'm curious what you've learned, what surprised you, and what you see about how people are really fitting this into their lives.
Well, you know, you said a very important point in terms of how consumers are fitting the Nintendo Switch into their life. And I would say the first thing that we've learned is that we've been very strong in communicating the Nintendo Switch proposition, a home console that you can play on your big screen TV and then undock it and take it with you, and consumers are responding to that proposition. We've also learned that the work that we've done to enable a strong development environment is really paying off for us. We're getting strong support from the big publishers like EA or Ubisoft, but we're also getting really strong support from the independent developer. And that content is really important as it looks to help us with the overall reason for consumers to pick up the hardware. So those are a couple key learnings and things that we're looking forward to continuing driving our momentum, not only through this holiday season, but into 2018 as well.
Can we expect the Switch to launch in China next year?
You know, China is a big market. It's certainly a market that we continue to evaluate. In terms of what we might do and when we might do it, you know, we're still in the process of looking at a range of different alternatives and a range of different ways to just make sure that more and more consumers have our intellectual property available to them. So no news here, but certainly China is a market, just like Brazil and a number of other very large markets, that we continue to look at very closely because we know there's a business opportunity there.
Let's talk about the performance of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Compared to other smartphone games, sales have struggled. What have you learned from that?
You know, first, I would be careful with your characterization. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp has been out only a couple weeks. The monetization element of this is something that's going to continue to develop over time. What we have seen is that the consumers who have downloaded are playing it an exceptionally long time, and that bodes well for us. We've just launched the newest seasonal aspect of that game, tying into the holiday season. That's a key element of Animal Crossing on our dedicated handheld device when we've done that in the past. So there's much more to come with Animal Crossing, and I believe that as we look to next year in 2018, that we'll see the same type of positive trajectory that, for example, we saw with Fire Emblem Heroes.
So let's talk about theme parks. Construction has started in Japan, but has yet to start in Florida. What's the status of Florida? How will it be different from Japan? What can you share?
So the details of the theme park, exactly when construction might start or what it's going to look like, we're going to let our partner at Universal Studios share all of those details. What I could tell you is that, you know, the first park will open in Osaka, Japan. The target is to make sure we open that before the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. And, you know, right now, that's the key focus of the team, to make sure that that opens and it opens successfully. We're thrilled to be partnering with Universal Studios. We think our IP is going to look wonderful in their amusement park space. And it's something that we believe is just another example of how we're making sure that our intellectual property is touched by as many consumers as possible.
Okay, so how about this? Some analysts have speculated there won't be a successor to the 3DS and that you'll be stepping back from the two-gadget strategy. You know, how committed are you to a two-gadget strategy?
we're very committed to our Nintendo 3DS business. And what that business has shown us is that in addition to a machine like the Nintendo Switch at a $299 price point, that there's a marketplace for dedicated handheld products that are targeted to a different demographic, typically a younger demographic, a demographic that's just getting engaged with Nintendo properties. And so we believe that making sure we continue to appeal to that younger demographic is going to be very important for us going into the future. So from that standpoint, does that support a two-device strategy? It absolutely does.